Hello everyone, I would like to introduce a new feature in Harvester 1.7. It's about the virtual machine auto balance. This feature leverages the Kubernetes Descheduler for rebalancing of virtual machine workload. And this component will evict the part from high usage node to the low usage node. For example, I have a 3-node cluster and I create many virtual machines on it. So now I feel the resource is not enough, so I add a new node. And in the previous Harvester version, I have to manually migrate the virtual machine from the first 3 node to the new node. But now with this feature, you can just enable it and it will do it automatically. Okay, so let's go to the add-on page and just enable this feature. And you can see there is a Descheduler deployments deployed in the kubesystem namespace and also a related configuration for it. Okay, and let's take a look for the configuration. And in this configuration, we can see that the descheduler will descheduling the workload every 5 minutes. And we only focus on the virtual machine workload because we use label selector to select the virtual machine part only. Okay, and now here we exclude some critical namespace here because this namespace contains the critical workload. If you have some workload you don't want to be evicted, you can also add it to this exclude namespace here. And let's take a look for the final two configuration, the target threshold and the threshold. The target threshold is the upper bound and the threshold is the lower bound. So for node which usage is higher than the upper bound, the target threshold, it will be evicted from this node and to the node which is lower than the threshold. Okay, and if you want to check the node usage, you can check the descheduler logs. Like here, we can use this command to log out the descheduler to log out the usage of each node. For example, for this HP119, its CPU usage is 46% and the memory usage is 81%. And if you want to check why a workload is not being evicted, you can also check the log in this descheduler component. For example, if the part is not fit for the node selector or tense or other reason, and it may not be evicted. Okay, and now let's take a real example. Let's take a look for this example. I have a 2-node cluster, and the first node have the higher usage, and the second node have the lower usage. And also I have a 3 virtual machine. It's all running on the Harvester node 0. And now let's go to the add-on page. And I would like to edit the YAML. And let's change the lower bound threshold to like the 45 for CPU usage. And then we can enable it. Okay. So now we can see that there is a descheduler being deployed in the kubesystem namespace. And let's take a look for its log. And now we can see that it will check the node usage for each node. So like here, for the node 1, for node 1 usage, it is 35% for the CPU and 12% for the memory. And for node 0, its usage is the 56% for CPU and 56% for memory. Okay, and we can see that it tries to evict the part from the node 0 to node 1. Okay, so let's get back to the virtual machine page. And we can see that there is a virtual machine being migrated to the node 1. And for the node usage, now it's more balanced. Okay, this is the example. Thanks for your watching.